It's the homosexual and so I'll paint you a picture of Arkansas prisons. When I first went in 1995, all you were hearing was Varner is gladiator school.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was 5 or 6 white guys for every barracks. Every barracks is an open barracks. You got 70 to 80 people in each barracks, and only 5 or 6 of them are white. So all the stories I'm hearing is from the second I hit the door, it's go time. Right? You fighting or which you got to choose which one you're going to do. Fight or be you either going to be a fighter or a lover.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I'm preparing myself mentally, and from the second I get there, it's none of that.
Yeah.
It's none of that. I'm 18 years old. I'm ready to die for this little 2-year sentence I've got, which with 11 months credit on it. You know what I mean? And
so you got like 13 months to do. And,
yeah, and in Arkansas, you do 2 months on each year. So I'm in and out. All I got to do is go in and come out.
They changed that, right?
Yeah, now because of our new governor.
Arkansas used to be sweet with the time, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so I get down there and they're fighting nonstop. But it ain't against the white guys. This is when HBO's Gangbanging in Little Rock had come out. Everybody was gangbanging. The Pine Bluff was fighting Fort Smith. Fort Smith was fighting Hot Springs. Hot Springs was fighting Little Rock, West Memphis, Texarkana. These cities are fighting, and they're primarily predominant black. So the white dudes, we were just skating free. We didn't have to worry about none of that. I got in one fight in the worst possible prison in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I started it.
Yeah.
With a GD named Proctor. And I accidentally whooped him. You know what I mean?
You accidentally whooped a dude, bro.
Yeah, and he was every bit of 2 foot taller than me, right? And it was over, literally, not going to crack. The Mike Tyson fight in 1995. It was around Christmas. I bet a pack of Newports, they call them Cadillacs down here, that Mike Tyson would knock the dude out in the first round. He knocked him out in the first round. Well, I got crunk and got to yelling. Dudes like, hey, man, you quit yelling in my ear. I'm like, man, if you don't want people to be loud, just go down there, get out of the TV area. And he stood up, and I'm like, well, go on, get you. Pow! Well, he fired off on me. You know what I mean? As soon as I said, get you one, he got him one. And I stood up, and I just went to hitting as hard as I could, as fast as I could. And the next thing you know, I had him in the corner, and the next thing you know, he started slumping down, and I'm over him. And it seemed like it was hours, but it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, ain't it crazy how street fights are? But like it seems like a hot minute, bro.
Bro, I thought I got whooped till I got back in the barracks from the captain's office, and everybody was like, "Oh, J-Bo, what's up, man? You showcase?" And I'm like, "What happened?" And then I saw Proctor come in, and he went straight in, walked upstairs, got in his rack, and got under his covers.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Wow, I did whoop him." And nobody said anything to me. His G's didn't say nothing to me. His neighborhood didn't say nothing to me. Not out of line.
You lucked out with that, bro. Because sometimes
that's how it is down there.
I'm friends with a lot of growth and development, bro. I like them GD dudes, bro. They actually have some super tight politics, and they really trying to see their dudes do better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to educate. They're trying to elevate. And I don't agree with all of their politics and everything, but like I respect the shit out of them, bro. I actually rode really hard with the shot caller from the GDs, which out in Oregon, that's a scandal, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you're a white dude. You can't be kicking it with this dude. Because honestly, the dude, his name was Max. He was more Irish than anything else. He was like maybe 80% Irish and 20% Egyptian. And I'm in a non-racist Irish gang. You know what I'm saying? Like Irish pride, we don't do that white supremacist ooey bullshit, bro. We don't play that. We hang out with whoever we want. We Irish dudes, we dirty ass mix and we run together. So I'm hanging out with Max, and he's like straight up an MMA fighter dude, bro. Like he trains constantly.
Got that business.
Yeah. So he sees me out on the yard training my prospects, and I did some boxing and shit like that. And I'm a little bit slick. I ain't the best at nothing, but he comes out there and he's like, I see him training his dudes, and we were the dudes out there besides the Serenos that were actually training our prospects to go to war if it needed to happen. Yeah. And me and him became really good friends. And so like we'd train our dudes together sometimes. And I had like 2 or 3 of the white cars come out there, the racist white cars come out there and be like, you can't be doing this to me and Max. And we were like, what the fuck are you going to do about it, bro? and they ain't did shit, bro. Their heart pumped purple puppy piss on that one. You know what I'm saying? And I liked those guys. I got along with them, bro, but you ain't going to tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can all the way get down about that. But I was able to navigate and deal with everybody, bro. Like, one of my favorite cellies of all time was Native, bro. Super good dude, man. Him and his brother, the Sackett brothers, just amazing people, bro. I lived with them. It sucked because, like, about 4 months after I switched cells, my old celly, bro, they caught him. He had glasses. And so he had found a tiny little nail, and he had flattened the end because the screw was always coming off of his glasses. And he had that for that in the cell the whole time. I'd see him every couple days because his glasses were super janky and they wouldn't let him get new ones. Yeah, every couple days he had to tighten it. They went in and searched the cell and they found that thing. They gave him 5 years for an escape device for that thing.
Yeah, that sucks. I got 10 years for a shank one time.
You got 10 years on a shank?
Yeah, Pulaski County. I wasn't even in prison. I was in jail.
Damn.
They caught me and my roommate Wade Mount sharpening it, and we took it to trial, and I got 10 years on it.
Ooh, how much you serve on that 10?
I think 3.5.
Damn, bro. Damn.
Yeah, 3 years, something like that.
So prison for you were able to use it eventually. I mean, it wasn't your first, second, third, or fourth set, but you were eventually able to use that as a catalyst for change, which I think is really awesome, bro.
It was an accident too.
It was an accident?
Yeah. I didn't have any intentions of coming home and getting straight.
So what was that moment?
I paroled out and I ended up in a recovery house instead of going back to the dope house. And this girl who had been writing me, she'd been following my music, because before all this, before my life in recovery, there was a time I had a decent following on the underground. Like I knew Jelly, I knew Haystack, I knew Little White.
Yeah, OJ Bo.
Yeah, I made music with Bubba Sparks, Big Smo. And I did shows with everybody. And so this chick had been following my music and she noticed that I hadn't posted, I hadn't released anything, and she did a prison search. And so she started writing me. Well, she got me accepted into this recovery residence, which is the only reason I was able to make parole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I get there, she calls me. She's got like 18 months clean. And she's nowhere around today. This was before I met Chelsea. And she's like, hey, I'm going to come get you and take you to a meeting. I just came home from prison, JD, and I'm sick and perverted, right? So in my mind, that means I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to go do a bump and I'm going to give you some head. That's what I'm thinking go to a meeting is. So I'm just keep it real with you.
I mean, I've seen that shit happen at meetings too. So.
Yeah, so I start getting ready. I'm like, shit's finna go down, boy.
For breezing the balls.
Yeah, and so she picks me up and takes me to a meeting.
Like an actual meeting?
Like a 12-step meeting.
No bump?
Yeah, no.
No head?
No, or no bump either. No dope, no sexual activities, nothing. I'm sitting in this 12-step meeting, listening to all these old people share about recovery, and I'm sitting on my hands, rocking back and forth, looking at her, and I got to thinking, well, maybe we're going to go to the park after this meeting. You know what I mean? Like,
dog.
But something magical happened, and God broke through my shell during that meeting, right? Like I heard a message of hope from somebody I identified with. Like I could tell by the way this guy was sharing that he understood what I'd been through, right? Like people try to reach me my whole life, JD. Teachers, preachers, prison counselors, officers, therapists, shrinks, you name it. You know the story.
I do.
And I didn't give any of them a shot. But this guy's in there talking about how when he sold his TV, he didn't have a drug problem. He had an entertainment problem. That shit made sense to me. The next thing you know is like when I sold my food stamps for a sack of meth, I didn't have a drug problem. I had a hunger problem. I'm like, man, this is talking about me. Well, the last thing I sold in my addiction was a stolen car that I thought was mine. And I sold it for a little bit of meth, right? And so he's like, when I sold my car for some meth, I didn't have a drug problem. I had a transportation problem. And it just hit me in my face. And in that moment, all the denial that I had spent my life trying to say I wasn't a drug addict Nothing was my fault. In that moment, it all hit me in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I experienced the identification process of recovery. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a drug addict. Now I don't even want the head or the bump. Take me back to my sober house.
Right.
You know, and from that moment on, it was, I can see God's fingerprints in my life all through my life.
All across it, bro.
Every shootout, every burglary, every robbery, every bump I did, every time I thought I did too much dope and was going to overdose and would start praying. I can see God throughout the history of Jimmy McGill to making me what I am today.
My pride was my obstructor, bro. My pride was my downfall every single time. Like, so I had every single reason why I wasn't a drug addict. I've never been homeless, bro. Yeah, but you've been to county jail more than most people have been outside of the state. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm never broke. You steal. Like, what is that, bro? You rob, you lie, you cheat. I had all these illusions of grandeur that, like, I wasn't just another one of those people in those rooms. And, you know, the first time that I actually went to the sober living that saved my life was voluntary, because I had just gotten in a high-speed chase in a vehicle, a rental vehicle that was registered to me. They had called out the chopper. I had thrown a pistol out the window. I had thrown a bunch of dope out the window. I had thrown a bunch of credit cards and IDs out the window. And we ended up crashing the vehicle and running through this little bit of swamp. And I covered myself in palm fronds and passed out, right? Because I had eaten a bunch of dope. I ate as much as I could possibly eat and threw the rest out the window. Yeah. So I overamped and I woke up just like, yeah, I gotta go. Is that dogs? Do you hear dogs? You know, and it was at night. I woke up, it's like broad ass daylight. I knew that, like, there was a huge trail leading back to me. So I figured out, I'm like, I'm going to get in front of this. Yeah. I'm going to go put myself in sober living. That's the manipulation, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm going to manipulate the outcome by acting like I'm actually trying to change something. And so I called a friend who worked at a sober living, and he set me up like 3 appointments because I was stuck on stupid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't even show up to a drug deal where I was making money. You know, I'd be making money on some shit, and people are calling me like, I've been waiting for like 7 hours. Where are you at? I'm coming over the bridge right now. That's what you said 7 hours ago. But I finally rolled up. I like this chick passed out at my house, and I left her a note that said, your car will be in the parking lot of this sober living. I gotta go. Yeah. And I rolled up to the sober living with fake piss in one pocket because I knew they were going to UA me, and a small scale and an ounce of dope in the other pocket because I was going to get clean, but I was still going to hustle. You know, I could just stop doing dope and just sell it because, you know, I have that in me.
I think we all try that.
Yeah, and I somehow, while dude's watching me, I managed to slip the fake piss. You know what I'm saying? But I went to the first meeting and sat down, and I saw that these dudes were all, I thought everybody was going to be square bears there. You know what I'm saying? And I just realized really quickly, like, no, these dudes is like me. And I thought long and hard about it. I sat with dope, an ounce of dope in my pocket that whole first night. And then the next day I slid back over to my house and I gave my unk that ounce and the scale. And I said, bro, I can't do none of this. I'm actually going to try to do this. And, you know, it worked for a minute, bro. It worked for a minute until I told myself I got this. You know, I've been here for like, what, 42 days, bro, in sober living. I've mastered all there is to recovery and healing. I'm a guru now. By the time I went back, bro, I was so busted and broken. You know, I was crying when I got to the parking lot, and I'm not afraid to admit that, bro. A judge had ordered me there, and I don't know whether I was assuredly grateful to be out of county jail, but like I was ashamed of the way that I blew out of there the last time and just how fucking prideful and naive, and I was just embarrassed, bro. And when I pulled in there, the dude who ran the place had no reason to even let me back in, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he came up and he hugged me, bro. And he was like, I'm so glad you made it back, brother. And I'm like, I was thinking that I was going to get there and they was going to hate on me because, you know, I did them dirty. Like the last time I left, I still owed them like $300. I was that piece of shit, you know? And they were just so welcoming. And that spirit, bro, just filled me. And I wanted to be that person for other people. So there have been a lot of amazing men who have led me down the path that I get to help other people down today.
That's amazing. What was your prison experience like?
Whew, buddy. So I went into county jail with my co-defendant. We was on the same unit. I know I had frequent flyer miles in my jail. Officer Simpson, last time I went into into that county jail, Officer Simpson said, "DeLay, you know how many times you've been in here?" I said, "A few." She said, "You've been in here 40. We have booked you in here 42 times, DeLay, and you're smarter than that. You need to get it together, stupid." So she would always just send me directly to worker dorm. Everybody else had to go get a TB test, and they had to wait. They had to fill out an application, and, you know, they had to get classified. Officer Simpson, just as soon as she saw my dumb ass, she knew me, and she knew I would prep cook like a mug, bro. So she just shoot me right down to the worker dorm, and, you know, my co-defendant too. So we're sitting down there in the worker dorm, and we go through the whole court thing together, and then we get shipped out the same day, and we go to intake together. So, you know, anything I didn't know about going to prison before, he taught me, because he'd been multiple times before, California and Oregon. He was a P9 death squad skinhead, and we got along and vibed on everything except the racist shit. I'd always make fun of him for that, and he'd be like, "I'm on your side, stupid, you're white." And I'm like, "I'm pink with red polka dots, dude. I ain't even one of you." So, you know, I kind of knew what time it was. And I thought that we was going to go to the next place together, you know, because I was minimum custody. Yeah. I was 100% minimum custody. But when I went in and talked to my counselor, I was like, "Counseling? I need counseling because I'm dumb as shit. Let's fix some of this." And I went into my counselor and I realized that they're just trying to classify me. Yeah. To see what, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I went in there and I'm like, "Oh, this is just for housing." And they looked, and I didn't have all these tattoos when I went into prison. A lot of people online are like, "He didn't even get all those tattoos in prison." Well, no shit, stupid. They're thick as shit, and I got a bunch of color, bro. I didn't want to get a whole bunch of identifying tattoos till I was done doing crimes. I get to wear this shit now, you know? But I had this clover, and they hit me up and they're like, "So what gang are you in? Are you Irish Pride or are you Aryan Brotherhood?" And I'm like, "I ain't neither."
Both represent the clover.
Yeah, I said, "I'm white, bro. White kids don't jump in gangs. What are you talking about? I grew up with my parents. I watched cartoons on Saturday morning and ate cereal." And just gave him the old stupid okey doke. But I wasn't in a gang, bro. But so the day that we went to get shot out from intake to an actual prison, they formed two lines and they put him in one line, and I'm like, "Cool, yeah, I'm going to be in that line too." And they put me in the other line, and I'm like, "Oh, damn. I wonder if, since he's been in multiple times, if they going to send him to a hard ass joint and I'm going to this sweet little Camp Snoopy." It was the exact opposite, bro. They sent me out to gladiator school. And I got there, my first unit, bro, I hit like, it was kind of like a family reunion for, you know, dumbass kids from the street. Like I said, a bunch of traumatized kids, bro. My first cellie was a cop killer. You know, I was super worried it was going to be a chomo. I knew they wasn't going to sell me up with another race. If they, on the West Coast, if they sell you up with somebody that's another race and you're a white boy, you got to get that dude out your cell. You got to fight. You got to do something. I didn't want that my first day. Also, if it's a chomo or rapo, you got to go straight to town. And I get there and I ask who my cellie is, and they're like, "Oh, he's a good dude. He's a cop killer." And I'm like, "All right, sweet. I'm set." So I go out to yard for the first time. And I'm not on that yard like 15 minutes before somebody gets killed in front of me, bro. I just bled out on the yard.
How'd that make you feel?
You know, I was in a place where I wanted the action at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Had you ever witnessed anything like that incarcerated? Because at this point, you've only been in jail.
I hadn't seen it incarcerated, but I've seen people get murked before that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But this was pretty brutal. This little ass gay dude, clearly flamboyantly gay dude. These three dudes come up to him, and one dude, you know, he's like fully slung back, big ass dude. And, you know, it was clear that they were in a gang. My first day on the yard, I didn't need to question that. They came up and they were talking to the kid, and the big dude's poking his finger in the kid's chest, and the kid goes like this, and then he puts out his left hand to shake. and dude puts out his hand to shake, and dude rips his arm up and starts stabbing him in the armpit, bro.
The kid started stabbing.
Yeah. He got the guy like 4 or 5 times in the armpit, gave it a good pull.
Yeah.
And there's an artery in there.
Yeah.
And this dude bled
Couple
out.
of 'em.
Yeah, this dude bled out before they could even get medical there, bro. Like there was a trail of blood when they dragged him off the yard and shit. And that type of stuff happens out at Snake River. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that was like kind of like oh shit, okay, I'm really here.
Yeah, I've seen stabbings at every Arkansas prison I've been in.
Yeah.
Like that happens at the friendliest prisons. What was the funniest thing you saw in prison?
Bro, there was as far as funny shit, I would say so. Like, do you guys have torpedoes out there in Arkansas prison?
You mean a crash dummy?
Yeah. So you know, you get a rapo on the payroll or a chomo on the payroll where, you know, you still beating the shit out of them, but they paying you not to kill them, and you own them and you get to do whatever you want to them. And every once in a while you'll have a lifer come up and be like, is he yours? Can I buy him? And you're like, you trying to fuck on him, bro? 3 bags of coffee. He's yours. That type of thing. So,
we ain't got that.
What?
No, we ain't got that. There's some people in the box, but there ain't no selling them and stuff like that.
Oh, we do whatever to them. They're not people, bro. They're not even livestock, bro. We don't got nothing for them. So, there's a huge over at OSP. There's a huge soccer field, bro. And during the winter when it's raining, because Oregon just rain nonstop, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's on that Seattle time with the weather.
Like this video? Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a single content drop in the future, and keep up to date on all future episodes of From Prison to Purpose.